Yalla, let's go. Assalamu alaikum, ahlan wa sahlan. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. By the way, you can start by dropping, as usual, where you're connecting from, the country you're connecting from, or the country you're currently connecting. Yeah, based in your country of origin. Just say hi from wherever you are. Drop that into the chat. So. Welcome to Startup Destination series. This is the episode 2 of the chapter focusing on KSA. My name is Emel Saidin. I'm CEO of Beta Waves. Beta Waves is an innovation powerhouse. Let me tell you a little bit about who we are, what we do. We enable organizations through skills and innovation programs. We build and invest in tech startups across frontier and emerging markets. So the way we support startups, SMEs, corporates, and government agencies with programs designed to drive innovation, foster growth, and build relevant capabilities. We build our own startups. We build startups through our venture studio, leveraging our proven startup methodology. And then we invest through our VC arm, building B2B climate tech startups with North and West African founders to serve the Middle Eastern market. So startup destination is, moving to the next slide. Let me click here. Yes, so this is a webinar series with a chapter focusing on Saudi Arabia. Every chapter will focus on a different geography, on a different ecosystem. We have chosen to focus on Saudi Arabia and tell the story of Saudi Arabian ecosystem to the global startup community, focusing in our first episode about Saudi Arabia on giving an overview about the ecosystem. The second episode today is focusing on fundraising in Saudi Arabia. Everyone has been reading reports about Saudi Arabia, about the booming investment scene in Saudi Arabia, crossing the 1 billion threshold or cap in 2 years in a row now. So there is really something happening there. And that's why we have chosen what we have called crème de la crème, the best of the best, to tell us the story of Saudi Arabia and what's going on there from the angel perspective, VC perspective, an external perspective to Saudi Arabia, looking at connecting investments and syndicating investments with Saudi Arabia. But we'll also have the government perspective and the entrepreneurs perspective. Entrepreneurs who have made it from MVP to IPO in Saudi Arabia, but also entrepreneurs from the world who managed to move to the next level in Saudi Arabia or with Saudi Arabia. And these are the practical insights we'd like to share with the global startup community. And this will, for that, we are very grateful and honored to have an amazing lineup of speakers today. So we are honored to have Faisal Abdul Salam, who is a super angel investor among many other hats he's wearing, to give us an overview about the investment landscape in Saudi Arabia. Tariq Al-Qadi, who is chairman of Investors of the Mediterranean, among many other really cool stuff he's doing in the MENA region. He will be telling us about investing, co-investing, syndicating, going to market, investing in startups who are interested in setting up in Saudi Arabia. And then we'll have the perspective of the government, of the Ministry of Information and Communication Technologies by Abdullah Shamrani, who will give us an overview about what the government is offering in terms of programs, in terms of grant support, in terms of supporting startups who are coming from outside to Saudi Arabia. And then Salman Butt, who is a superstar in the Saudi ecosystem, will tell us about his own story of going from MVP to IPO to inspire entrepreneurs and to understand from a practical story how to make it throughout all the steps of building and growing a startup in Saudi Arabia. And then we close, as usual, with our fireside chat, with our panel conversation, the small panel conversation with the two founders who made it in Saudi. Saad and Abdul Rahman will tell us about their own story of Decisive and iVest, two startups that are just amazing who have raised funds or raised grants or both in Saudi Arabia, and will be sharing from founder to founder, from entrepreneur to entrepreneur, all the challenges, the hassle, but also the success, and how to do it, how to reach out to investors, where to find them, how to connect with them. And these are all practical insights we'd like to Startup Destination to give to all founders, entrepreneurs, wannabe entrepreneurs out there. And with that, we are ready to move to our first conversation with Faisal Al Abdussalam. Let me stop sharing here, or I just leave this. Oh, no. Yeah, I'll just stop sharing so that you can see Faisal. I'll go back to the other view of Zoom. Where is my view? Here is it. Now I'm full screen. Perfect. So, Faisal Al Abdussalam. So we are really, really honored, ladies and gentlemen, to have Faisal with us today. It's really a pleasure for me to introduce Faisal Al Abdussalam, who is an iconic entrepreneur and investor in Saudi Arabia. Faisal has been making waves in the Saudi Arabian investment landscape. He is the founder and CEO of Core Vision Investment and brings a remarkable background in ICT and investment to our conversation today. He has founded and led several tech companies, including Purity Information Technology, Zeta Technology. He founded Core Vision Investment, where he plays an active role in shaping investment strategies and leading funding rounds. What I really loved reading on the web is like his philosophy is go all in. So no half-hearted things, go all in. So Faisal is committed to pushing boundaries and expanding possibilities in the world of business and investment. So welcome, Faisal. Very happy to have you here. And we just dive into our topic. So you are also an iconic angel investor in Saudi, or what we call super angel. So tell us about your portfolio. How many startups have you invested in? Are there any of these startups coming from outside of Saudi Arabia? And maybe just give us also an overview in your own words about your background.
Hello, Amal. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. You hear me good, huh?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, yesterday we celebrate our most important company, Purity, for IPO. Yesterday, alhamdulillah, we ring the bell.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, today the second day for IPO. Allah yabarik feek, ya Rab. So, if you allow me, Amal, to introduce myself. I'm IT guys. I have more than 15 years experience. I start my experience in Saudi Telecom company for 5 years. I take a lot from STC because STC every day they have a lot of technology. So I'm one of the founding team of STC Bay, and that time before the separate to another company. So in that time, 2016, Vision 2030, it started published and it's published 2016. So I established the first company for me, Purity. Purity actually it's system integrator, not startup. So alhamdulillah, our revenue last 3 years we closed almost 200 million riyal, almost $60 million. So at that time, we focused on the Purity. I will explain about the angel. I remember the first investment for me, then I lost it, alhamdulillah. I remember in 2016, I invested in e-commerce platform. I bought the first ticket, and that time, I guess $50K. Then I lost after 6 months. So I learned a lot. Yeah, I learned a lot that time. To be honest, in that time, in the MENA region, I can say no, we don't have more startup. We don't have VCs. We have limitation about the angel. So no one understand about the startup, what they're doing, why the valuation is going up. I remember that date, 2016. I think the fundraising at that time almost $8 million. Today, I think the fundraising in the Saudi market, I think more than $1 billion. So totally different. So Alhamdulillah, in 2021, I established Corfigen company. Corfigen, I'm CEO of Corfigen, and Purity, I'm chairman. So the holding company of Purity, it's Corfigen. Me and my partner is Mr. Abdulsattar Al-Maymani. So I remember 2010, he's my line manager in STC. So
Wow.
today we are two
Life
partners.
is funny.
Yeah, yeah. So today we are two partners actually in Purity, in Corfigen.
Something happened with our screen. We see you
Yeah,
the way around.
sorry, because I put my second.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second, sorry.
Take your time. For everyone attending, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, in the Q&A, ideally in the Q&A. Yeah, Faisal, you're back.
Yeah. So actually, we are two partners in Corfigen. So today we have more than 75 companies in our portfolio. Personal fund. We invested, me and my partner, we invest, I think, more than $9 million. We're doing a lot of mistake, and we're doing a lot of great story, alhamdulillah. For sure, the activity that we're doing in Corfigen, not only invest in a startup, we invest as private equity as well, and we invest and we establish a company, and we're doing activity acquisition as well. And we lead the round. Recently, we do that activity to lead the round, especially for the early stage. So our focus today in Corfigen, we like the early stage. Last year, we focused in deep tech and AI as well. Sorry, because I log in from my phone. So yeah, we invested in 9 countries, and we invested in 13 sectors as well. We support a lot of company. Today, our activity not only invest, we support him if they need any support from our experience. We support them. So actually, this is our activity that we're doing in Corfigen.
This is impressive. Wow. So cool. And being an active player in the investment ecosystem and scene in general, so what are the most common available sources for startups in Saudi Arabia when it comes to funding?
There is a lot, to be honest. There is a lot. But once we come to the early stage, for sure, this is my recommendation and my opinion. Yeah. And today we have Abu Rayyan, Mr. Salman. He have experience more than me. So the early stage, I prefer any entrepreneur. If you want to raise any fund, it's good for him to go to Angel Group. For sure, we have a lot. We have VC, and we have corporate as well. We have the government initiative as well. We have a lot, I can say.
Okay. And so how do you think, so you have mentioned earlier that the Saudi Arabia was different some time ago, and now we're crossing the 1 billion cap of venture capital. So this has really evolved over the years. And so what are the most notable milestones or changes that you have witnessed throughout the way?
So as I said, and the difference between 2016 and 2000 and now. So the government, they establish a lot of initiative. We have today initiative from Munsha'at, and we have initiative today from CITC, and we have NTDB as well under CITC. And we have today with us Mr. Abdullah Shamrani is from Code. So once we go to just explain about the initiative from the government, there is a lot of initiatives. Just I will explain about the National Technology Development Program. Today they have 19 initiatives. I think there is a 5 initiative or 6 initiative. It's focused for a non-Saudi company to support him, to give him a lot of I think like today we have program, we call it Relocate, and we have Next Era, and we have the Tech Pro, and we have a lot. So the government, they give any non-Saudi company a lot of support. Even today we have Ministry of Investment as well.
Okay, this is very promising. And then the question that any entrepreneur might be asking is, where do I find these resources, and how do I know what's the right program for me? But we'll let Abdullah Shamrani answer this question more in details. I'd like to go back to the angel topic, since angel investment seems to have really a crucial role in the investment scene in Saudi Arabia, particularly more than many other ecosystems who have developed in this way. So how significant is angel investing in the Saudi funding ecosystem, and what are the trends you are seeing when it comes among angel investors? Something that entrepreneurs from the world should be knowing about.
So I will give you a small example, about the strength for the angel in the Saudi market. I remember we closed round for some startup in Saudi market, fintech. They don't have license actually. I remember once I met with my friend, he come to us, sit with a lot of friends in our diwaniya. We call it diwaniya, diwaniya istiraha. So gathering, casual gathering. I think he introduced himself and he explained his startup as well. After that, I sent him a message in the Friday. He come to us on Friday. Then arranged meeting with him Sunday evening. He want in that time, I remember, $800K. I think we closed we closed $700K within 3 days. We close it.
Wow.
Not only promising, not commitment. No, we transfer it.
Signing. Wow.
Yeah, signing and transfer. No,
before 800K.
Yeah, before sign. We transfer. So we build the trust because we have a community.
Okay.
That's why the community today, I can say the angel group, if they came together, I think they can close up to 2-3 million, up to $4 million. So we create initiative from our side as a core vision. We create initiative to support the entrepreneur. We said to him, don't sit with any investor. We will take care of you. We have community. We call it core vision community. We're doing that activity or that community every 2 months. We select 2 startup. Actually, once we select 2 startup, for sure we will close the whole round. So we will create SPV, and then we will invite our qualified investor to invest in that startup. So you don't need to sit with them because we sometime once you sit, I remember once I established our roadshow in Purity once because we increase our capital. So once we sit with the capitals last 3 weeks, I remember we sit with 16 capitals locally and globally. I remember that time I repeat my words 4 times, every time more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So it's too headache to repeat your words. And even you cannot go, you cannot give him any promising or something. This is not legal from Capital Market Authority. Today we have financial, and that time I remember the financial advisor with us. You cannot give him any insight. You cannot give him any information. So I repeat my words a lot of time. So too much headache. Once I remember that story, for sure, alhamdulillah, we helped a lot of entrepreneur to close his round, to whole round. We said, don't need to sit with any investor. We will take care of you. We'll take care of whole round.
Wow, this is so cool because empathizing with entrepreneurs who have to tell their pitch hundreds of times, and then at some point it loses the soul and the commitment and the passion they have to for this pitch, because repeating is such a hassle. So I think what you have set up as a community seems to be really working. How do entrepreneurs access this type of community? How do they access this opportunity to pitch in Diwania and have the attention of this community, or have your attention as someone who is leading this type of investment rounds?
Yeah, actually, we acquired some company before in the beginning of the year of this year. We acquired Fee Fund. Fee Fund today we have more than 4,000 startup, and we have more than, I can say, qualified investor, qualified angel group, angel investor. We have more than 600. So Fee Fund, they're doing a lot of demo day. We're working closely with Code and NTDB. We're working closely with him. So it's demo day. It's sometime, maybe the first in the demo day, I think maybe 8 startup. So, but we create another community through Corfogen. Just we select 2. Today, our website, it's open for all. Anyone he can send any email for us, either info@corfogen.ca or through Fee Fund as well. So we have more than 15 people. We have 6 people investment analysis, either through Fee Fund, either through Corfogen, because Corfogen today we have more than 70% from Fee Fund. So I'm open for everything. Even the Diwania, the casual, today we establish a community, we call it Drop. I'm a member of that amazing community. We like casual gathering. We like casual community, like what we're doing in Drop. And we're doing that in every Friday in the evening. Maybe 25, we invite 25, 30. So we send private invitation. Once we select and once we decide the subject, for sure we will send some startup in that field, and we will because we are our founders today in the group almost, I can say, super angel investor.
Wow, amazing. So there are many of you. This is so cool to hear. So for all startups present here, we'll post the links in the chat. The team, I'm sure the team is capturing the names and finding the links online. We'll post them in the chat so that you know where you wanna where you have it's already there. Where you should be submitting your pitch decks, and hopefully you'll be invited to a casual gathering to pitch. The big question for entrepreneurs was like, do I have to be already Series A and the like to be eligible for funding in Saudi? Apparently you don't have to. You can even get angel investment, but serious angel investment money. So with you've heard that it can go up to 4 million. So and I've heard also something really special, that you collaborate also with the government and government programs, which is pretty unusual in the MENA region, I have to say, having met many of the ecosystem in the MENA region. So this is really really amazing. Anything you want to add about government programs and how you collaborate with them, and how do you think the government, what role the government is playing to attract investments and the right investors for the startup scene?
Just highlight about the initiative. I remember our story in Purity today, not startup, because we are system integrator. We have, we focus in database implementation, ERP, SAP, Oracle, etc. So we don't have a product. We are a system integrator. So we get a lot of benefit from NTDB. But because I was speaker in FII last week, so I remember Mr. Ibrahim Riyaz, the CEO of NTDB, he mentioned amazing story. Today, NTDB with you, starting from idea stage up to IPO. This is secret for NTDB. And also, I can give anyone opinion about our story, our journey for the IPO. Alhamdulillah, we're doing great. Once I remember that once we send our file to CMA. We get approval after almost less than 4 months, which is amazing. And also today, we establish a company. Inshallah, we will take care. We will get the license from CMA for the arranging and advisory as well, and investment management as well. So we will support the startup. Today, the main issue for a startup, if they have a plan to going IPO, especially for the Saudi market, the main concern, if anyone want to go to IPO, no one from the local advisor understand how to evaluate that company or that startup, because startup today, the valuation, it's related about multiples for the revenue. A lot of financial advisors, they don't understand that. So I think NTDB, they have initiative to support any startup they going to IPO. And also, the Saudi market today, we have two kind of market. One of the primary markets, we call it TASI, and another market, السوق الموازي, or growth company, in English and Arabic, I think is the same. So it's easy for any startup to be there, regardless they have profit or they don't have. So it's easy. And we have today in Saudi market, we have two company startup. We consider that as a startup. The first one, Jahez, they're going to Al Muazi. And today, Rasan Ta'mini, InsurTech, they're going to a primary market.
Okay, that's amazing. One closing question. So we're talking here, we have with us many international startups who are eyeing the Saudi Arabian market as an expansion market, but also as a fundraising market. What advice could you give to anyone who is trying to enter and secure funding from the Saudi market?
From the Saudi market?
Yes.
It's easy today.
Cool.
It's easy, and we have we have qualified investor, and today the angel group in Saudi market, as far as I know from our community, today the minimum ticket for any angel not less than $25,000. So if anyone wants it with any angel investor or any group, you can come to us. You can come to any network. Today we have Uqal community as well. Uqal community, they have more than 300, I guess 300 plus angel. You can go to them and you can request something from them, and they will support you.
Okay, we feel almost
even
like with all these options.
As I mentioned, already I give you the whole details for our website and our email as well.
Yes. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. This is super enlightening, super practical. And anybody who is not raising funds, it's their problem. It's so easy. And Saudi is there. We have the right people, and we have, and they are opening their doors. So yeah, guys and girls, just go and grab the funding. But please be ready for that. So thank you so much, Faisal, for your time and for all these enlightening insights. We really appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Amal.
Thank you. So now we are going to our second, who is sharing the screen. Okay, so we'll go with Abdullah in that case. So we're flipping the agenda a little bit. I don't know if it's convenient for Abdullah and Tariq, because I see already the screen shared. Okay, or we keep our agenda as is. Let's keep our agenda as is. So I'll just put the agenda on the screen again for everyone to see the flow. I'm sharing the screen with the agenda. We're ready to present in a moment our next speaker. So we have heard Faisal Al-Abd Salam, and now we are ready for our next MENA superstar, Tariq Al-Adi. And then we'll have the pleasure and honor to welcome Abdullah Shamrani from the MCIT. Afterwards, we'll have Salman and Said Abdulrahman tell us about their startup stories. And now we're ready for your insights. We're ready for you, Tariq. I'll stop sharing now so that I can see you. And there you are. So Tariq Al-Adi, who is a leading entrepreneur and angel investor. He is the visionary founder and CEO of Techni Global. You'll tell us more about this, this event. This is a massive, massive Mediterranean event. He's also the founder and chairperson of Alexandria Business Angel Network, Alex Angels, and holds also the same position at the Mediterranean Business Angel Investment Network. Tariq is executive chairman of KD Group, a group of marketing and advertising agencies serving various clients in the MENA region. So we have the best expert on board when it comes to MENA, and we'll talk about syndication, cross-border investment, expansion to new markets, etc. So Tariq, welcome to this conversation. Just say hi, a few words about your background, and let's dive directly into it.
Sure, Anna, thank you so much. I hope you're hearing me well.
Yeah, we hear you, we see you. Amazing.
Thanks a lot. I'm glad to be with you. And, you know, just a brief details about the two hats I wear in terms of investment. We have the Alexandria Business Angels Network, which was, you know, incorporated in 2017. We have around 70 investors, many of which are from Saudi Arabia. We've invested in 30 companies till now. 70% of these companies are still operating, and we've done 2 exits. We've done 3 partial exits till now. Our portfolio, alhamdulillah, is performing quite well. We've done, you know, announced a couple of months ago our 6x returns between realized and unrealized on the dollar.
Wow.
We've done exits that, you know, partial ones that have returned anywhere between 4 to 8x. And the ones that are unrealized average between the 6x. So some of the portfolio companies have already expanded to Saudi, and my colleague Faisal has already in their portfolio 2 of them that we've invested in, and they're growing right now. This is for Alex Angels. And in terms of Mediterranean investors, so this is the broader network that we've incorporated in 2019. It has around 30 organizations, from VCs, family offices, angels, incubators, and accelerators from 17 countries, mainly Europe, North Africa, but also we have from North America and Southeast Asia. This network was mainly created to promote cross-border investing initially. And right now we're working with the portfolio companies, which are more than maybe 1,000 companies in total, to help them raise follow-on funds, to help them expand specifically to Saudi Arabia and the GCC market by identifying market needs and investment opportunities. So this is just a quick overview about the 2 networks.
Brilliant, brilliant. So we seem to have here the super aggregators in the region of investors. Amazing. And with so you have built powerful presence really now in the MENA region through these networks, through your own work, your own company. So what's your overall philosophy when it comes to investing in startups? What are the startups you invest in?
So, you know, I'm investing with the rest of the network, so we're sector agnostic. We mainly look at strong teams who are solving real pain points in different markets and emerging markets. Right now, with what's happening in the MENA region, and having Saudi having more than 50% of the funding going to Saudi Arabia, I think there's a great opportunity with the market dynamics in the Egyptian market and the founders. So there's a great opportunity for these founders to operate, have a back office in Egypt with the operating costs significantly affordable, but also have a regional/global footprint, which would, have a great business model and a financial model in terms of returns and sustainability. So, at early stage, it's always about the product market fit. And then later on, it becomes expanding. So once they've identified their market fit and they're ready to expand, it's a good opportunity for them to fundraise from different markets and from expand to markets that have similar pain points or similar needs for their products and services. But in general, we don't have a preference for a sector, but we always look at opportunities where we can help. If we're looking at seed stage investment, wearing my Alex Angels hat, we look at our network. How can it add more value to the startup? We're looking at, founders should be looking at smart money in general. It's not just about the funding. The funding is there, it's available, not as it used to be before globally. However, it's still available, but you need to find the right investor who can come on board, help you with the challenges that you have or the opportunities that you are seeking. So this is what we usually do with all the network that we have, specifically from Saudi Arabia, the investors that we have. We can identify market opportunities, we can identify help, we can identify different things that are really valuable for these startups in terms of raising their initial rounds and seed, post that, even their pre-A, and moving forward, of course, with the support of our Mediterranean network that we can help raise in Series A and beyond.
That's fantastic. And I can see almost the pattern there, startups who have validated in their market and then seeking an expansion to Saudi. Do you think this is a pattern that works everywhere? Because very often the challenges that or the pain point you're trying to solve as a startup might be different from a market to another, especially if you are testing in a smaller market, whether it's B2C or B2B, same thing. So do you still recommend this type of model, or should the startups seek investment as early as possible in their target market, which could be Saudi in that case? Is it feasible in the first place?
So if we're talking about Saudi specifically, the market in Saudi right now is growing significantly. Different sectors are attracting different, not just startups, but companies from all over the world. So it's very important for the founders to identify market need and what they're coming in, what's their value proposition, but also to understand that this market is different. The customer is different, and at the end of the day, it's about the customer. So everything is evolving around how your customer behaves, what your customer needs are, whether it's B2B or B2C, and it varies from market to the other. So when it comes to expanding, we don't encourage startups that are in early stage to expand to any market. But when they're at the right stage where they can actually, they've had their market fit in their local countries, they've expanded and acquired significant market share, and now they're ready to grow and launch into different markets. This is when they can, raise the capital that is required to, have some market launches. And the market, of course, it varies from one industry to the other. Like, companies that are doing SaaS or web-based or cloud services, they don't need to physically be there necessarily most of the time. So it varies, but in general, the identification of the market need and for the market that they're expanding in is crucial to the next stage of any founder who's expanding.
Okay. Question from the audience. Do you invest in early stage? What's the definition of early stage? So I guess it's we're talking about pre-seed and seed in that case, but more from you, Tarek.
So in our terminology is different a little bit from global. Early stage and global terminology is usually post Series A. So for us, when we're talking at seed level is your pre-seed, and seed is where we invest as Alex Angels, and this is where you need to most of the time raise the capital from local investors. And of course, maybe also a pre-A or an A can come from VCs that are either local or regional, but expansion would usually come at that post-A and around that stage. So regardless of the naming early or late, it's a post-A when you have acquired your product market fit, you've acquired market share and ready to expand. This is where you should be raising capital. If you're talking about Saudi, I would suggest. But if you're starting from Saudi, that's a different ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another question from the audience is about if you collaborate with with the startup support organizations to source deal flow, or do you expect the founders to apply on a certain or somewhere on your website, just to give them some practical insights?
Sure. So when it comes to Mediterranean investors, right now we're not accepting external startups. We're working with the portfolio companies of our existing members. So if you're part of the network that we have on our website, then definitely you can reach out and we can work with you as a founder within the network. For Alex Angels, on our website, there's the application. We've led rounds, but also co-invested. So we had deals that we've invested in tickets maybe around $100,000 or $120,000 ourselves. But we've also led deals and invested in rounds that were around $1 million with 5 other partners, or maybe 4 other partners, co-investors. We've led the deals, done the diligence, and circulated that to our network. We're open to co-investing. I don't think there is any competition when it comes to that space, because it's usually the partners that we're investing with who can continue to support in terms of startup continuity and expansion and so on. So yeah, we've done both.
Amazing, and there are limited benefits of syndicating and collaborating with other players in the ecosystem, whether for startups or also for investors as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, again, talking about Saudi and all the funds that initially, looking at seed stage and pre-seed, which is very important for the startups to come from the ground up. You're finding government support. You're finding a lot of grants that are coming in. There's, of course, NDTP doing a lot of support in terms of grants for expansion, for bridging, and also the angels. So, with all the angel networks that we've invested with, syndicated with like Aqal, we've syndicated with individual also investors who are not members. But there's great opportunity and a lot of investment opportunities that are coming. The most important thing is, we always tell our founders, is that you look at the right people who will be able to support you in your journey moving on.
This is amazing, and I see that you are through these angel networks building kind of bridging the gap between the me and the NA of MENA, because usually the me is playing a game and the NA is playing a different game. So having this type of syndication starting already at the angel stage, at the pre-seed and seed stage, is very promising for everything that will come next, definitely.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think are the primary factors you consider when you evaluate a startup that's planning to enter the Saudi market? Okay, we're assuming now that we have the right team, we have the right founders, we have the right business, we have a validation in their own market. Is there anything that you want to consider they should have incorporated already in the market? Do you prefer startups who have already considered an acceleration program, or so any pattern or any preference or anything you think is this will succeed if they consider the Saudi market?
So for us, when we're looking at our portfolio companies that are expanding to Saudi, we always look at, you validated what your business model in your local market. You need to validate that in the market you're expanding in, and to the Saudi market. So we've had one company, for example, that had a great success locally, and they've incorporated in Saudi, started to expand. They even raised capital, but once they launched there, they found the customer behavior totally different than the Egyptian market. And they had to, change a lot in their technology and how things are, so that it's adapted. They wasted, I think, 9 months at least, and this was a good burn rate. Alhamdulillah that they did not finish their funding, but they're still operating well. But it's important to have a good understanding, have good partnerships, good local presence, good support, and this is all present, but not just jump into a new market without validating your business models in these new markets. So this is for our portfolio companies, and I think looking at it from our Saudi partners and everyone who's looking at the companies that are expanding to Saudi is definitely, you mentioned the team, you mentioned that they validated, they have the funding, but it really needs to be fulfilling a need and a pain point that is really valid and apparent in the Saudi market, because Saudi market, again, it's different. It's not
definitely different. Maybe you can tell us more about how different that is, because many founders, we hear stories about founders who are facing challenges that they heard for the first time. The legal framework related to Saudization, setting up a company in Saudi is still not yet like this. You have to. It takes some time. Even though there are some programs that support with that. So any specific areas entrepreneurs should be paying attention to and not taking for granted?
Well, the operational side is very important. I say that there has been significant change in setting up companies in Saudi now. It's become more easy when you have the Riyadi license, and you can incorporate at a significantly much more time, less time, of course, and with less cost. But operational cost is different, and the operations itself is totally different also in the market. So it's important to understand these dynamics. It's important to go and visit. We've done early in Jan for our Mediterranean network. We've done our investors' annual meeting in Riyadh, and we visited MISC. We visited different co-working spaces, also like Code. We had most of our investors that we're co-investing with, and we brought investors from, I think, 18 or 19 different countries, so that they can revert back to their countries with startups and the portfolios that they have, to identify which are the ones that are can expand over there. So it's like a multiplier effect. We had maybe, I think, 50 or 60 delegates from international, and we had locally also around 200 people in these events. And we've seen a lot of companies that have actually expanded afterwards, because they were able to come and visit and see what kind of support they can get and what kind of market they're entering into. So this is quite important. And I think the government is also doing a great effort in these events that are happening. For BBAN is happening right now, LEAP takes place, a lot of things that are happening around all year round, so that everyone, investors, startup, corporates even, can actually understand how they can expand and how they can support their portfolios. And the corporate component is also very important, because working with a lot of corporates in the GCC area, connecting them with startups in our portfolios of the Mediterranean. Because once there's venture clienting is also on the rise right now. So these companies which are working with these corporates that are looking for support in terms of innovation, looking at pain points that they're trying to solve, and getting these innovative companies from around the world, and they become their suppliers, even if the corporate is not investing and not the corporate venture capital arm or acquiring, but it's a good opportunity for local investors or investors from our network to invest in these companies that already have contracts, already have a presence. So this is something that we look at very much,
Great. One closing question. So about the sectors and industries that you think, I know you are sector agnostic as Angel Groups, but have you seen any trends when it comes to sectors that are more promising when it comes to cross-border investments in the MENA region, especially targeting Saudi?
So in Saudi, the fintech sector has been, significantly taking a big domination of the investments that are happening locally. The e-commerce also sector has shown remarkable attraction in terms of attracting funding. However, it's not about the amount of funding that is going into certain sectors. It's about the different sectors that are also untapped, and the opportunities that still need to be challenged and need to be taken into consideration. So there's still a lot of things that are happening. I mean, if you're looking at the prop tech space, a lot of things that are happening. You're seeing companies that are disrupting the industry and the norms, like the ones that are coming in and changing how rent is taking place and how solutions are coming into payments. So not just fintech, but fintech enabled, I think, globally is one important thing. And embedded finance is something that is across all industries. So I wouldn't look, I've always looked at things sector agnostically, because there's always an opportunity. And when we say opportunity, it's an opportunity for growth and an opportunity for returns in terms of multiples.
Amazing. Opportunities for return. This is so cool. Thank you so much, Tara. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing all these insights. Thank you for your time, and enjoy BBN.
Thank you. Thanks, Emma.
And now we're ready for the government insights. We're ready for Abdullah Shamrani. Are you still there, Abdullah? You are there. Cool. And the slides are on the screen as well. Fantastic. So Abdullah is the General Manager of the Center of Digital Entrepreneurship of Ministry of Communication and Information Technology in Saudi Arabia. His mission is to accelerate the growth of digital economy and entrepreneurship ecosystem in Saudi Arabia. This is a big mission. Wow. He supports entrepreneurs at every stage of their journey, helps entrepreneurs to achieve their goals, working towards creating a positive social and economic change. So Abdullah has developed the national strategy to support entrepreneurs of the kingdom through a variety of programs: incubation, acceleration, competition, etc. So Abdullah, we are so honored and happy to have you here. Looking forward to the insights you'll be sharing about the government programs and government support. Abdullah, are you there? Can you hear us? Abdullah? Let me text Abdullah. He was there. Okay. Abdullah, we can't hear you. Please unmute. You're just raising your hand. So you are raising your hand. Okay. Shall we unmute Abdullah, or what do we do? Mahmoud, shukran. What do we do here? Let's unmute Abdullah. Host, unmute Abdullah, please.
I'm trying to unmute, but I'm asking him to reactivate the sound. So if you can please unmute from your side.
Try again. Yeah, we see your hand raised.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, fantastic. Now we
Awesome.
can hear you. Fantastic.
Is it fine to open the camera, but I'm trying to turn it on. But
Yeah,
I
it's lovely to see you indeed.
only see the sound, but okay.
Okay. But no, don't worry about the camera. We can figure out later when you're through with your presentation.
Okay, I think you can see me now, right?
We can see you, can hear you. All is perfect. Fantastic.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Allah. Hi, Abdullah.
Yeah. Sorry, it was just a technical issue.
No worries.
Happy to be here, and thank you, Amel, for the invite, and really excited to share a few information about the kingdom and the programs that we do. And I'm happy also to answer any question that the guests have, and really excited for this. Thank you for inviting me.
Cool. We're so happy to have you. Cool. Let's go.
Okay, so maybe I will start, if you allow me, just giving a brief about myself, and then
Yes, please.
divide the conversation
Please
into
do that.
one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I know you have a very special mission within the government, within the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. It's a heavy one. Tell us more about it. And know about
Yes.
your background, of course.
Absolutely. So my name is Abdullah Shamrani. I'm the GM of Code, Center of Digital Entrepreneurship at Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. Have been working, alhamdulillah, for almost 5 years at the ministry, established the entrepreneurship department, and since then, alhamdulillah, handling all the initiatives and projects to support entrepreneurs. I used to be entrepreneurs. I have built 2 ventures in the past. I'm really excited, but today I'm on the other side.
Wow, you are on the other side. Cool.
Yes,
But
trying
with
to
a lot of
help.
empathy for entrepreneurs. You have been there already. Cool.
Yeah, so I understand the pain, I understand the challenges, and I'm really passionate to be in the other side of the table and try to help entrepreneurs and help them grow and pave the way for them to succeed in the future. I will divide my quick, inshallah, discussion into 3 points. One, I will talk a little bit. So we're talking about fundraising, and I heard our colleagues talked about a lot of things, and I loved it. I want to tackle it from another point of view. So now, for any entrepreneurs wants to raise fund, usually there is a typical way of doing it. But in Saudi Arabia, I thought it would be better if our guests today hear about what is the kingdom, what's happening in the kingdom, how's the ecosystem, and how you should start, how you do the first steps toward raising fund. Raising fund is a step, but there is few steps that you need to do before establishing and starting raising a fund for your raising fund for your startups. So I will talk about the kingdom a little bit. I will share a few numbers, and something that is very important that you need to make your decision based on the market and other insights, and then look at what's exactly there as incentives and programs that you can benefit in order for you to be ready to raise your fund. Second, I'll talk a little bit about MCIT efforts and code specifically. What are we doing today? What are the programs that are targeting specifically global entrepreneurs, and how can you benefit from those programs? And lastly, I will end up with few products that is specifically tailored and offer to global entrepreneurs for them to come to the kingdom, soft-land to the kingdom. So those not by code, we have one of the products by code, but there are other products also happening, built and offered by other ecosystem, both government and private sector. So I would love to talk about it a little bit for just to give you information about this product for our audience today to know more and get more information in order for them to do their first steps. So these are the 3 points that I'm going to talk about it today, inshallah, and I'm open to answer any question afterwards. So let's start with the first screen, if you allow me, Amal.
Yes, please.
Yes, so Saudi Arabia. Now, why we want to talk about this higher information? I think it's very important now. You're choosing a market, you're choosing a country, you have to understand the bigger picture. Why Saudi? And what's happening today, it's very important, and you need to understand all this information in order for you to make your decision. Maybe it might be fit for a startup, but it's not might be a good fit for another startup. So one thing, the first thing is I wanted to say is the kingdom is one of the fastest growing GDP country among the G20 countries. Alhamdulillah, the kingdom economy achieved 8.7% growth in GDP, and it was the highest rate among the G20 in 2022. And also in terms of VC investment, we have pioneers, alhamdulillah, last year and this year. Inshallah, we'll see the report end of the year. But last year we achieved 1.3 billion, the total amount of investment, VC investment, and it has, especially last year and the year before, as you know, globally, what's happening in the VC world, things that were declining. And alhamdulillah, we have increased 33% from the year before. So we were increasing, and the total number and amount of investment was huge, and hopefully to continue in this, inshallah, range in the upcoming years as well, this year and the upcoming year. There is a lot of support by the government happening today. There are few funds that are dedicated to help us accelerate the growth of entrepreneurship and investment ecosystem in the kingdom. So we have a few funds like Jeddah, Saudi Venture Capital, and NTDB, and other funds. And other funds, there is tourism funds, and there is culture that's focused in a specific sector. That there is a other fund that's specific to a specific sectors. So these funds are supporting and accelerating the growth of the funding ecosystem. These funds are maybe tailored to, offer their services to GP and VCs in the kingdom, and sometimes they invest directly to startups. But it's worth mentioning these are good initiatives that's accelerating the growth today and funding all the scene, what's happening today in our ecosystem. One very important information, and I wanted to highlight it, is Saudi female participation in the tech industry raising from 7% in 2018 to 35% in 2023, just last year. And this percentage is higher than the average of European Union and the G20 as well in Silicon Valley. It's a huge accomplishment for female participating in the tech industry. We're not talking about tech entrepreneurs, but we're talking about entrepreneurs, talents within the tech industry overall, from executives to entry stage of jobs as well. And this is something I think it's very important for our audience to know today. If you can go to the second slide, I wanted to say today we have around 50 institutional.
Mahmoud.
Yes, if you
Thank you.
We have around 50 institutional funds and VCs operating today in the kingdom. This is a good number of VCs, and they have more than 1 billion asset under management. This is a good opportunity for startup to leverage and to know. The pool is very huge, and not mentioning there are a lot of VC globally who have done a lot of investments round. I could take an example here to you. Some of these global funds that have invested in Saudi market. For example, Goldman Sachs invested in Tamara in December and last December, and SoftBank also invested in Uniphonic and Sequoia Capital as well in Fodex and Lee. So there are also appetite for big funds from Silicon Valley and other funds to invest in startups in Saudi Arabia. And also I wanted to mention today in the kingdom we have around 4 unicorn and more to come inshallah in the upcoming years. Another point I wanted to say that we have around 3,000 startups established today in the kingdom, and this is also a good number, and we're working very hard to increase the number of startups, increase the number of investment round and amount as well. So there is a huge opportunity today in the kingdom in terms of establishing companies and solving specific challenging and specific industry in the kingdom. I think you're aware of Public Investment Fund. They have asset under management exceeded more than 900 billion. And as I said, we have around 3,000 startups in the kingdom. I want to stop here. These are few information. I know there are a lot of information I could share. We have high population of youth. We have very high purchasing power. This is a really ground and infrastructure that help entrepreneurs to establish their businesses here. And we have really good connectivity in terms of infrastructure of internet. We ranked number 4th globally in the speed of the internet. So especially in big city like Riyadh, Jeddah, and Dammam. This is also one of the advantages that entrepreneurs need to know in order for them to make that decision if they want to raise fund or relocate to the kingdom. This just a few information about the kingdom, and I can maybe talk the question if there is a specific question, but I thought it would be perfect and nice to talk a little bit about the kingdom overall. And I know it's a big decision for entrepreneurs to raise fund or to raise fund from the kingdom or to relocate or to benefit one of the programs. So this is something need to be considered when they make their decision. If you can go to the 3rd or 4th slides. I just wanted to move to the second point here. And talk a little bit about Code. Code is the Center of Digital Entrepreneurship under Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. And at Code, our goal is to help and enable entrepreneurs in all stages. However, mainly focus in very early stages. And the reason we know how hard it is, and we know the failure rate there, and our goal is to increase the success rate and decrease the failure rate for entrepreneurs. And we know that the first steps in their journey, it's a bit hard, and they need a lot of resources, they need a lot of connection, they need a lot of awareness, capability, and skills, and so on. And there we are, and this is what we do at Code. Our goal is to help entrepreneurs, take them from the idea stage until they become unicorn. So from early stage, from idea to MVP, MVP to startup, startup to first round, second round, third round, until they become unicorn. For each step, we have dedicated products and programs to support our entrepreneurs and take them from the stage to another stage. We have around 7 labs in the kingdom today, co-working spaces, an incubation, you can call them, where we're trying to build a community and help investors, entrepreneurs, and other people to connect and network, and hopefully a lot of partnership, a lot of benefit will be from this. So we are the place to connect people. This is the first thing. Second, we are the place to build the capability of entrepreneurs. Reason number 1 for the success of entrepreneurs, بعد توفيق Allah, is the capability of entrepreneurs. So we do a lot of training to build the capability within in the kingdom or outside the kingdom. Third, we help our entrepreneurs to expand globally and help also global entrepreneurs to come to the kingdom. As I said today, with the vision of 2030, there are a lot of opportunity there, specifically for innovative digital solutions. And we believe for us, digital solutions are the way for us to contribute to our GDP and create more jobs. As you're aware, the kingdom has been focusing on oil for years. And with the vision, there is a transformation and oil diversification where we're trying to create more GDP contribution from other sources. One of them is SMEs. That's why we're trying to help. And we believe digital solutions are the great source to our GDP and contributor. So that's why we believe this is important for us, and we opening the floor for international company and global entrepreneurs to come in the kingdom. And also with the Giga projects that's happening, whether it's Neom, Al Qiddiya, Dir'iyya, and so on, there are a lot of opportunities, and we are really in need of innovative solutions that can bridge these gaps and challenges with digital innovative solutions. We have also a file that we focus on, which is helping connecting our entrepreneurs with the global entrepreneurs. That's why we have a lot of activities happening in Silicon Valley. We wanted to connect because entrepreneurship and investments, it's global from day one. You have to connect with a global ecosystem. You have to be aware and leverage the network connection and knowledge that's happening. That's why we have a small office in Silicon Valley, in the Bay Area. We're very connected with the ecosystem there, trying to leverage the network, the knowledge and experience that's happening there, and helping entrepreneurs in the kingdom to expand globally. And we're also working to open a small branch in London, also as well in Singapore next year, and also to leverage the network and funding that's an activity that's happening there as well. If I want to talk about code, I will take so much time, but if I want to summarize them, we're around capability building, awareness, incubation, acceleration, creating the pipeline of companies. We're trying to focus on the early stage. We do a lot of hackathon, competition, and so on. We have a lot of perks. We partner with the NTDB, the National Technology Development Program, to fund startups as well and oversee the acceleration and the growth of the startups. We focus also to unlock corporate funding and corporate participating in the ecosystem of entrepreneurship, whether acquiring and building ventures or investing in startups. So this is also one of the files that we focus on. We focus also on IP commercialization and digital research commercialization. That's why we exist in university. Majority of our labs and center are within university. That's why I wanted to help our entrepreneurs to and help students within university early on, educate them about entrepreneurship. Today in the kingdom, we have around 660 entrepreneurs per million, and the global benchmark is around 200 entrepreneurs per million. And we see a huge opportunity for us to increase the awareness of entrepreneurship and increase the number of entrepreneurs in the kingdom. That's why I wanted to start early on within university. However, our labs are not dedicated for university students. It's open for everyone. But for sustainability and other reason, we opened our labs within universities. Yeah, lastly, maybe a lot of programs that we do in Silicon Valley, London, and Singapore. These programs around training, connection, helping them to connect with investors and so on. I want to stop here, but few numbers are there for our audience to read. I want to move to the second or third point and the main point of my discussion today. Fundraising, it's a huge exercise. I know the other panelists already talked about the technicality of how they have to do it and so on, and some advices. Maybe I will tackle it from another angle. Now, in order for you, this is my opinion, in order for you to raise funding from Saudi Arabia, I think it's important for you to leverage some of the incentives before going and approaching investors in Saudi Arabia. Some of the investors in Saudi Arabia might ask you to relocate to the kingdom, so it's good for you to approach him and be ready and add another added value when you approach investors in Saudi Arabia. These programs, I will go through them very quickly, and happy to answer any question if they're not by code. Code is one of the enablers and helping entrepreneurs, but there are a lot of programs that our audience today they can leverage and know about it. The first program is by code. For sure, we have to start by code. We have a CodeGate program. CodeGate, it's a soft landing program that helps entrepreneurs soft land to the kingdom. It mainly we focus on pre-seed, seed. The majority, it's very early stages startups, and we try to focus in deep tech and gaming. All deep tech and emerging technology are our target audience in this product. We offer 5 things or 6 things. Mainly it's legal setup, and we know the struggle for entrepreneurs when they come and do the setup. And what we're trying to do here is just want them to focus on the accessing the market and fundraising and other things. And we do the legal setup for them without bothering them on how to do things. And we know how complicated, and it's differ from a sector to another sector. So this is the first thing. Second, we offer office space for a year in one of our centers, either in Riyadh, Jeddah, Abha, Qasim, or Al Hassan. And also we have few perks that we offer to our entrepreneurs. Access to code and NTDB products, because without being part of this product, it might be hard, except the relocate program that we will talk about in a bit, to access NTDB product. Also very importantly, to help you to access investors, and finally exposure and attending big events like LEAD, BBAN, both locally and globally, because we participate in Web Summit, Slush, and others. So these are few offering, and for those who are interested to know more about it, they can scan the code, the barcode there, and to know more about the product. So we open the application once a year, pretty much end of the year. Today it's our first cohort. We're in the filtration phase. Inshallah, we will be finalizing the selected startup by beginning of December, inshallah. The second program is by Ministry of Investment. I'm assuming some of you guys might know about it, because this is your first step that you have to know about the ecosystem. So one of the legal setup that you need to do to get the license, entrepreneur license, and this is you can get it by Ministry of Investment. There is an initiative called Invest Saudi. It has a product that tailored and offered to entrepreneurs and also investors as well. And it helps them, give them market study, guidance, advisory, and matchmaking, and connecting, accessing both private and government entity. Usually people start there, and then from Ministry of Investment, they connect them with us or with any other entity in the kingdom. And for those who wants to know more, they can scan the code there for them to know more about this product. The third product that targeting global entrepreneurs is KAUS, King Abdullah University for Science and Technology, Destination Deep Tech. It's a program, a 3-month program that specifically focus on deep tech technology, and specifically those who are backed by IP or based on research. They offer a lot of offering. One of the most important things is is the labs that they have at KAUST. And for more information, you guys can scan the code. Let's go to the second or third slides. NTDP, so National Technology Development Program, is one of the biggest program under Ministry of Communication and IT, and I advise everyone to go and check their website. They have huge support for entrepreneurs in early stages and also in scale up and advanced stages. They have a product called Relocate. It targets Series A and above startups, and it has a lot of incentives, financial incentives. So I advise you guys to check it. It's one of the biggest program we have in the kingdom today. And they have other products that I want you guys to check. I have added few information about one of the packages they have. You can guys read it very quickly. Lastly, but not least, the garage. And some of you might heard about the garage. It's the biggest hub today in the kingdom. It's similar to Station F in Paris. It's a flagship incubators or co-working space. It's well known in Saudi Arabia. It's open for all entrepreneurs, especially targeting international global entrepreneurs. It's the place where you connect with people. It's the place where you have your space to work from there. It's huge. I advise you guys to come and visit it whenever you guys are here in Saudi. And they offer a lot of services, but mainly they are the best one in terms of connecting you with the right stakeholders in the ecosystem. And for more information, you guys can scan the code and check their products. I'll stop here. These are few information and product that I have collected that's around soft landing and that targeting specifically global entrepreneurs. And I believe it's a step one before starting fundraising. I know some of you might have different opinion, but I think it will be an added value for you as an entrepreneurs when you go and approach investors. I want to stop here and hear from you if you guys have any questions or anything you want me to highlight or deep dive.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Abdullah. So the programs are competitive, right? So it's like you have to submit and get accepted, for instance, for CodeGate or any or all other programs, right?
Correct. Yes. So it's
Yeah,
selected.
it makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Meet the criteria, and the best one will be approved.
Fantastic. And we had the opportunity in the last session to have Arwa from Garage presenting us Garage, and then also Aisha from NTDP telling us about the different programs in NTDP. Really amazing, and it spans from idea to IPO. This is really wow what's offered there. So I'm checking if there are any questions from the audience. Are there some incubators and accelerators accepting Tunisian startups in early stage? Can you provide us with some examples? I don't know if there is any limitations or special treatment for Tunisian startups, but if there is, would definitely welcome them.
Tunisian startups, we love them. We want them to come to Saudi. There are a few
You heard that.
not tailored for Tunisian, but it's open for all global startups. I will mention Techstar program sponsored by MCIT. We dedicated 50% of the cohort to be global startups. We have also Tech Champion program by Code. Targets around 30% of their audience are global startups. Assuming 500 startup, 500 also they have. They target global startups as well. The Garage also with their partnership with Google, they have also a percentage of global startups. I would advise you guys to apply because at the end it's very competitive and usually you will get a chance hopefully to be part of it. So even if you didn't see anything that is specifically for global entrepreneurs, I advise you guys to apply. There is a chance for you to be there, and maybe if you are at the early stage, it's a good step for you to go and learn, connect, because incubator and accelerator, you have a huge connection that you can make within the program, and you start from there. Maybe after you can apply to one of these programs that I just mentioned.
Fantastic. I see another question asking, we're established in Dubai. Can we also participate? It's open to all startups from any nations. So just qualify, just be amazing and qualify and be part of these programs. This is really cool. And one of the most promising aspects of all this is that it's an entrepreneur who have designed or co-designed this. So this is not very, this is pretty unusual actually to see people leading initiatives in the government who have been entrepreneurs themselves. So kudos for that. Congratulations for all what you're doing in Saudi Arabia, and really best of luck for the, you have, you have just all the ingredients for success. Luck is always welcome. So thank you very much for your contribution, Abdullah. Thank you for showing up and for sharing with us all these insights. I guess everyone has taken screenshots, pictures, and scanned the codes. If not, we can also share with you the slides with the screen with the codes. Please just connect with us, and we'll do that. I will share with you that. Thank you again, Abdullah. This was amazing, amazing. So such a pleasure to host you today, and we'll connect soon again.
Thank you so much for hosting me. I'm really happy to be here and excited. And also, I would love to expand any support for any entrepreneurs. Need any support, they can connect me on LinkedIn or anywhere. I'm happy to support in any way possible. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. And now we're ready to move, jump directly actually to our panel conversation with our two startups who will share their testimonial about raising funds. So Salman is currently a judge in the World Cup competition, and he will be a little bit late. That's why we'll go with our panel conversation with two amazing founders, two amazing speakers. Said Khawaldi, who is founder or co-founder of Decisive, and Abdulrahman Al-Zubaydi, who is founder of iVest. So Said and Abdulrahman, you're there, ready? Say hi. Hi.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Amazing, welcome. So Decisive, I'll just read what we have found about your startup, and but we'd love to hear the pitch from your end. It has such a better impact. So Decisive is a Saudi Arabia-based insurtech startup. You have raised 2 million pre-seed round from 500 global Terra VC, Uqal, family offices, investors with background in with insurance in the MENA, UK, and US. This is a lot of, we're really looking forward to hearing more about how you raised, how you reached out to your investors, etc. So Decisive started in the UK before expanding to Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Usually it's the other way around, the way we know it from our MENA countries, but amazing how you're doing that, guys. So you have secured also a grant. This is also interesting for our founders. Securing grants is also pretty cool, especially in the very early stages. So 100K from the Saudi Accelerator Taqaddam, and a lot of more will follow. So Saad will tell us more in a few. So iVest, it's iVest with two V's, established in 2020. It's a Saudi-based agri-tech startup specializing in vertical farming solutions. So the company develops modular, scalable, data-driven indoor farming systems designed to optimize and reduce unpredictability associated with agriculture. And you have raised also or received support from investors such as Start Smart competitions, Oasis 500 in Jordan. So Start Smart is a competition in Saudi. So you have managed to receive several awards as well. So you'll tell us more about this part, because very often we jump to the part there where startups are already ready to raise VC funding, but the path getting there is very often a real challenge and a lot of hassle. So would love to cover that area, that gray area that's taken for granted very often. So guys, please introduce yourselves, your background, tell us a little bit about your story, how you got there, why you started what you have started, and how are you enjoying this? Who'd like to jump in? Said, Abdulrahman, whatever.
Sure.
Said, go ahead.
Thank you. It's a pleasure really to be here today. And it was great to hear from the previous speakers. Faisal, one of them, he's actually on our investor list as well. He invested in Decisive very early on.
Ah, nice.
Decisive is a company which helps
We can't hear you anymore. You have pressed the wrong button. It was not you, it was the small human next to you.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah.
Right.
So Decisive is a company which focuses on helping corporates in managing their health insurance policy. So we are focusing at a pretty niche market. Everyone is aware of Ta'mini in Saudi Arabia, and which got recently IPO'd under Rasan, which is the holding company. So Ta'mini is aggregator which helps small SMEs and individuals in getting insured by the insurance companies. For Decisive, we're pretty much doing the same thing, but for corporate. So we just work with corporates and help them to find the right policy for them, for their employees, which has the right benefits and the right price as well. And we're doing this job like helping all corporates to take off the headache when it comes to renewing the insurance policy, which costs them millions of Saudi riyals every year. Plus, it takes a lot of pressure off them, which takes when it's specifically about handling the renewal process, doing the management over the year, and just making sure that the employees are happy as well. So technically, we have developed a platform. That platform helps every single corporate at fully manage their insurance policy, so they can have the best possible policy with the best possible benefit. We're very proud that Saudi Arabia is the main market that we are operating in. It has our headquarters as well. We are at the moment serving over than 500 different corporates in Saudi Arabia with an insurance wallet exceeds 1 billion Saudi riyal, where we're helping all these different customers in getting the right policy for themselves. Pretty much we're very deep in tech. We have developed a platform that has a very high tech when it comes to machine learning and AI that reads the different documents and fully process them. So the process which takes normally weeks, which is getting a quotation from insurance company for any corporate, now it takes just few minutes, or in worst case scenario, 1 day, to just get multiple quotations for the corporate so they can get the best possible insurance policy for themselves. That's pretty much about what we do.
Amazing, amazing. So I love niche projects and niche products because it's very often the challenge for entrepreneurs is finding the use case in the first place and understanding the specifics of this this industry and this market, and how to solve or rethink the way this industry is working. And InsurTech has been such an undisrupted market for so long. Well done. So Abdurrahman, to you, tell us about iVest.
Thank you, Ahmed, and everyone for this kind of invitations. So iVest started back in 2020, based on a failure that we had trying to do something in agriculture, starting a very small project using a greenhouse, which was a total failure, but as it was hit by a cold wave, heat wave, and many mistakes by the farmer. And back then we realized that agriculture is looked at as an industry that is high in capex, high in risks, low in ROI. So we wanted to change that image. We wanted to control and eliminate this operation risks. And we started looking for alternatives for greenhouses. How can we actually overcome these operational risks? And we found out that the solutions in the market are either highly expensive, which results in low financial feasibility, or would not be actually solving the operational risks. Accordingly, we decided to create our own. We rented out an apartment and we insulated one of the rooms and started developing our technology. So this is how iVest started. And thankfully, we have been able to develop a full end-to-end proprietary technology that is not only overcoming this or these challenges within agriculture, but today represent a much better financially alternative for greenhouses in terms of producing pesticide-free food all year long from anywhere, while consuming 90% less water, 40% less energy, and generating 8 times higher ROI in comparison with the greenhouses, which changes how we can look at the supply chains in the GCC or in countries where we actually highly import fish food, and enabling us to have real food security in the coming years. So this is Invest in a nutshell.
Oh, well, this is a startup with a mission, with impact actually, and a lot of innovation. Maybe we go directly to the topic that we'd like you to share with us your experience with fundraising, finding funds. How did you experience the different phases of your startup? Did you go through the challenges of the death valley of the early stages? How did you manage to sustain the existence of the startup? Did you benefit from any programs, etc.? So yeah, help us with these insights, please.
Saad, please start.
Go ahead, Abdulrahman. I started. It's your turn.
Sure. So coming from the humanitarian industry, like NGOs, INGOs, I was a bit aware of grants and how to actually write those submissions. So the first door that we knocked actually was fundraising from grants. And that was a lifesaver because it allowed us to actually start experimenting and developing our prototypes and afterwards sustain the company. Then came some personal funding, but followed by also some competitions that we won and more grants from different entities. We're talking about entities like Start Smart that is supported by Abdul Latif Jameel in Jeddah. We're talking.
You're on mute. You pressed.
Sorry. We're also speaking about programs like Impact You from STC that is fully focused on impact-driven programs. And we also were able to join some great programs such as the Karaj, where I'm actually speaking to you from. And just recently, also joining other programs empowered by CST and NTDB as well, such as the Space Tech Acceleration Program. And you'll find many challenges or many programs that are launched by several entities in each and every industry. If you look at agriculture, for example, NIWA are doing some great work, launching 3 different programs for 3 different tracks, one in environment, another in water, and a third in agri-food. But the question also always remains in what would be the best process or practice for you in your different situation. If you are planning to develop the prototype first so that you can increase the value of the solution, or at least convince investors that you have a real solution that worth being backed, then I believe it's better for you to head for grants first and then create the first traction, or create or fail fast maybe, so that you can understand which business model to follow and which technology that you need to actually develop. And afterwards, you can start knocking the doors of investors who are all there just waiting for the right idea to come at the right time to be supported.
Fantastic. Yeah, then it helps really that you have this NGO background for writing these grants proposal, because it can become complex for entrepreneurs who haven't been there yet. So totally understand and relate. Saad, you have a different type of perspective, probably, especially that you have raised the pre-seed round. Tell us more about this round and how you, maybe what happened before the round in the first place, how you survived until that round.
Definitely. So early on, like 2022, when we started the company, it was pretty much like what Abdulrahman has shared. Like we were focusing at just looking around for grants so we can develop our first MVP and make sure that we have something when we go to the clients they are willing to pay for. And that's really what happened. We just raised a few grants here and there, started from tens of thousands of dollars all the way like to hundreds of thousands of dollars from different players. Either they are like within the KSA or abroad, but mainly like in the KSA. NTDB actually is one of the programs that we have applied for and we've got it. And it's quite like very nice programs, especially these ones which are at the stage of the companies when they have a minimal viable product and they want to test it in the market. And then there is a nice program at NTDB where you can pilot that product with a player in Saudi Arabia as like a company, and then NTDB will take a percentage, like will pay a percentage of the fees. You will contribute and the client will contribute as well. So grants is a great thing, but to be frank with you, like what we've realized, like especially in Saudi Arabia, everyone knows the purchase power is very high. So it's very important to move the company forward, to raise fund and to be appealing to investors is actually to raise money from your clients. So just to push the product to your clients, make sure that you build what they really want to pay for. And even if you can't sell them the presentation without building the product, just do that, get a little bit of tractions. Then once the traction is already there, then you have very good like profile. When you talk to investors, things are much easier, because normally like when investors look into like any company, they look at what did you do like historical wise and where you're forecasting your growth to be. And pretty much like what was happening with us, 2022 we started, 2023 we raised our pre-seed round, but it took us about 1 year of continuous work on and like pushing the tractions and like building something which the market wants. And like I would say like the actual raising during during the round, there are some techniques which we followed and it was quite successful. When you want to raise like a $2 million round, especially in Saudi Arabia, I think one critical aspect of starting the round is to get the first $500,000 from someone. If you get the first like tickets from someone, then that person or like that entity is quite known. Then that makes the process much easier for yourself. So in our case, like we've actually reached out to Riyadh Angel Investor Network. We've convinced one of the notable investors over there to invest with us. And that guy, he put $100,000, but he brought $900,000 after him by just introducing us to maybe 8 or 9 people. And surprisingly, out of these different 9 people, probably we raised from 6 or 7. So only like 2 have
Wow,
rejected.
huge rate, conversion rate.
I think if you're getting the right ticket and the right money at the beginning, then that makes it very easy for you, like when it comes after that, especially like when you talk to the other investors and say who did the DD or who did invest with you before. If it's a known name, then things becomes much easier. And that's basically the angel money which came through. But at the same time, it's very important to be validated through VCs. That proper due diligence at the lead of the round, it's very important to happen from a VC. That's why, surprisingly, our VCs came at the end. We've raised like maybe 1.6 million from angels and family offices. Then we've raised the rest from the VCs, or maybe like 1.5 and half million from the VCs who came completely at the end. Yeah, and I don't know, like in my point of view, dealing with VCs, plenty of VCs, they just meet you and they populate their funnel, but they don't have cash and they're not deploying. They're just like, the funnel for the future. When it comes to entrepreneurs, I want to know like if the time I'm gonna spend with you and the chase and the follow up and all of that is gonna result at the end in a month time or in a 6 weeks time of you putting money in the company. If that's the case, I'm very interested and I'm gonna keep like pushing very hard, giving you whatever you want, completing the due diligence and giving you the reports and just putting my head with you as well. So you can convince your IC. But if it's the case that you're just shopping around, which happens with many VCs.
Yeah, definitely, all the time. And this is an amazing learning to be shared with everyone. So when you engage with VCs, just have the same eye-level conversation, like try to understand how much dry power they have, how much money they can still invest, how long it's going to take them to take this type of decisions, how many tickets they still have to invest, so that you have an impression if they have already deployed and they have still 1 or 2 tickets to go, how competitive these tickets actually are. So do not hesitate to ask these questions. This is such an amazing insight.
I agree. And just one note, like really something we learned, there are no rules when it comes like to how VCs or how angels will put their money.
Yeah.
Some VCs, they come and say the maximum valuation we invest is X, but when you go on, when they really like you and they want you, you tell them no, it's X plus 50%, then they will take it because like they wanna part of that investment round. So there are no rules, even it's accelerator or even like at the end of the day, if you really have the right recipe and the right startup, just don't be shy to just to basically put your rules for the VC and make sure that this is really a good VC for you and a good investor as well for you. So as like if all of the investors, they're doing the due diligence for all the startups, I think it's very important for any startup to do the due diligence for the investor they want to come with them. Plenty of investors, they will just put money and then they're going to be technically dead till the exit happens. And to be honest, I don't think this is the best money. I think this is what they call stupid money in like startup world. It's very important that you challenge the investor. You see what value they're gonna bring with their money. And this is really like the main, like I would say, like assets of an investor, not the cash. Cash is just available like everywhere, especially when we're talking about tickets of like up or rounds up to 2 million or 3 million. So plenty of like investors, they would go and participate in this. Your valuation is not that high. So like you're still in the sweet spot to most of the investors. But when you go higher, obviously, which is what we're going through, things become a bit different. At the moment, we're raising a bigger round, which is like $5 million. That should be pre-A for us, since we've reached a certain like milestone and we're pushing things forward. We're really like very picky when it comes like to the investor who's gonna participate, because we want a value. We understand and we realize as like co-founders of a company, as entrepreneurs, at some level, with you alone in the company, it's not gonna move forward. You need really like fresh blood. That could be from investors, that could be from other co-founders, that could be from a completely like a new like team, in order like for the company to move to the next level. And I do believe this is really where we are at the moment. We're just like really like talking to investors who can bring a value, a massive value. They're not gonna just put money to invest, but they're gonna actually open doors when it comes to getting more clients through the door. And that will help us really like move the company forward and just move to the next level when it comes like to where we are at the moment. That's pretty much regarding like really like what we have learned over the past, I would say like 3 years. And I think like I think Saudi Arabia is like a great country. We've started off the UK back in 2022, and I was based in the UK like back then. My advice for anyone who's out from outside Saudi Arabia, if they want to raise money from Saudi Arabia, they should be in Saudi Arabia. That's what we have done at the end of 2022. We've just relocated the co-founders to Saudi Arabia. That makes things much easier. And especially like in Saudi Arabia, the culture, people want to see you in person.
You
Like
need to show up like,
wanna-
yeah, I'm coming now, tomorrow.
Exactly. They want to handshake. They want to have coffee with you. They want to just see you at Diwaniya. They want to just like, you know, do like many dates with you before they invest.
Yeah.
Online stuff, with all respect, I don't think it works there. They're very good at like adopting technology and all of that, but it's very important to see the people in person. And I think this is quite important when it comes to raising funding from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, this is so true and so practical. Thank you very much for that. Back to you, Abdulrahman. Being knowing the Saudi ecosystem from the inside as well, and building your startup there, what do you think are the key characteristics that help any entrepreneur thrive in the Saudi ecosystem, and how can others adopt this mindset? So we've heard from Saad right now that showing up, being there, connecting with people is a key ingredient, but any other ingredients to consider?
I would say that Saad maybe mentioned the most important ones. So being active and being in the events, for example, the ecosystem is small. In terms of small, I'm not saying that it's small in terms of the funding or the opportunities, but in terms of where you can find the people. The gathering events are very few. So it's like if you are there in these events, then you'll be able to create this kind of network in the ecosystem with investors, with mentors, with new startups that you can partner or merge with, et cetera, et cetera. So you need to be active, very active, and you need to be active even within this smaller circle of which your industry is belonging to. And this is maybe just to elaborate on what Saad mentioned. But before that, you need to actually understand where you are positioning yourself. We've seen startups coming in, suddenly they are an edtech startup, and afterwards they are an AI startup. And this is because this is the new trend of opportunities that just came. So you really need to understand where you are positioning yourself, what is the industry that you are actually following. And accordingly, just understand that, and you'll be able to start connecting the dots in terms of what kind of entities would be able to support you, and what kind of entities would be really willing to help you and connect you with the new opportunities. Who are the investors who are really interested in you kind of industry? Because as a startup, when you start this journey, you only hear about investment and maybe sometimes the grants, but there are other ways of financing. For example, in agriculture, you'll find that there is this entity that is very huge, but no one actually hears about, that is called ADF, the Agricultural Development Fund, that has just recently launched a new funding program, a new financing product for innovative startups and innovative solutions, which is a debt a loan that is very, very incentivized, but can go up to around $3 million. So this kind of financing that you'll not be able to find maybe easily with VCs or with angel investors is also available if you were able to dig deeper and understand who and what kind of financing and people you need to be connected with. And that takes me to the other point, which is being active in this industry and in this industry-focused circle will enable you to do what is more important than fundraising, which is actually sell and to be connected to the clients that you should be building your startup with. For example, if you are related to energy sector, you'll find that the best location to be into is actually not in Riyadh, not in Jeddah, but in the Dhahran area, where the energy sector is actually booming there. And Aramco has just recently launched 2 different programs. One is focused on AI that is related to energy, and Lab 7 that is related to hard tech, but also that has some intersections with energy. So again, being there, for example, will allow you also to be connected with DTVC that has an open door to be connected with Aramco and other large-scale energy and petrochemical companies. So knowing what is your industry will allow you to be in the right location with the right people and be connected with the right investors, supporters, clients, etc.
That's amazing, amazing insights. So, okay, guys, I love the practical perspective you're sharing. Maybe one more thing, entrepreneurs have to know about navigating the startup and funding journey in Saudi Arabia. Anything specific, any experiences you'd like to share? For you, Abdulrahman, what are your plans? What's coming next now? Are you already raising angels, VCs? Do you share the perspective of Said when it comes to fundraising? How are you planning to do that? Still going for grants, or was it just a specific phase? Because I think your business could be eligible for even bigger grants if you think of bigger programs. Yeah, what's your plan there?
Is this for me or for Saad?
For you, go ahead.
For me. So we actually realized that having the mixed financing mechanism is much, much better, not only for securing the funds that we need, but also to allow us to start exploring new opportunities. For example, as mentioned, we are now with a program that is focused on space technology, which allowed us to start, scratching our brains and think about new opportunities and new solutions to develop, which allowed us to start developing a new revenue stream or thinking about ones. So we are having all of them together. And just to highlight one thing that is very important, when we are seeing grants are not actually only limited to small amounts. If you look at what RDIA, the Research Development and Innovative Association or agency, I'm not sure, is offering to entrepreneurs just last year, they were offering grants that are up to 20 million Saudi riyals. So we're not talking about like 100K, 150 Saudi riyals. We're talking about very large numbers that would allow you to do R&D if you're looking for grants to support you there. We're also just in this region started to hear about the debt financing, or the what is it called? I forgot the exact name, but the new kind of financing from VCs. Saad, maybe you can help me with the
Yeah, it is debt financing. It's just
yeah,
like
which is a new way of
it's a new way of financing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So in this model, we're not actually reaching out to investors where we are giving up equity, but based on the traction that you can have, recurring traction and growing one, you can actually get financing from VCs, a new type of VCs that are willing to give you this money as a loan and keep your equity. So having this kind of open mind towards those different financing mechanisms and just connecting them with your strategy of the growth and strategy of where you're actually heading, what is your North Star and what do you actually want to achieve at the end. Having that kind of clarity will allow you to select the right funding mechanism and funding opportunities to follow and to apply for.
Okay,
and there are tons of there are tons of opportunity, but again, you need to know which to select and which to work for.
It's not always equity, the right answer, agree. So convertible notes, maybe safe, maybe debt, maybe so the all the hybrid options that are out there, depending on the country where you are and what kind of instruments are available. How about you, Said? So you're planning to raise 5 million. Is your plan to raise also from Saudi, or are you planning also to go out, so to expand geographically from a market perspective as well?
Yeah, just Saudi has been like definitely like the major, the vast major, like let's say investor in the company. Investors are there, like they're quite brave, and especially when the company is located to serve the Saudi market, then like they know that the company is just right here. A problem is we know it and we touch it, and then these guys are like coming to sort it out. But strategically, it's very important for us like to expand to another market. That's why probably like 35 to 40% of this round it should be like from UAE, which is the second biggest insurance market in the MENA region. And I mean, so far, like we've raised nearly like I would say like about 25 to 30% of the round, and we're
Okay.
just like pushing to get the rest. And uh, technically, like we're trying just to push like our numbers when it comes to sales and revenue as well, so we can negotiate better terms with the investors coming. Because like when it comes like to just negotiating a good deal for the company, for the growth of the company, and as well like for the next phase, which is gonna be like either A or like post A, it's very important that you actually keep like you keep like a good equity, like you know, for the founders in the company, because that really gives you more leverage on what's coming later on, and it allows you as well like to be like to continue lead the company in the direction you think it's gonna work, as like more or less like it's the company that you've just started from scratch. It's not like an emotional like I would say like a conversation about how you feel about it, but it's just about the direction that you want to take this company moving forward, and making sure that it actually just hits the milestone that you set for it. But just like one advice like I just like have as well when it comes to raising is like selling. You need just to have as many like leads as possible. You need just to push them all through the funnel, and you need to
Yeah.
keep nurturing these different leads that you have to the level that you can just pick them up when they're ready, or like when just they are basically like when to the level that you get married to these investors. So there are some entrepreneurs which have noticed they just like talk maybe over, then in 1 year they just talk to 10 investors or 15 investors, and then like hope that one will just invest or a few will invest, and then they can move forward. The conversion rate in general for investors is very low. So if you talk like to 100, you'll be lucky like to get 5 tickets from this 100. So what's important is just to keep pushing to as many as possible, positioning yourself at the right like you know position, just putting your paperwork and your like let's say like your attractions in the right location, and then like you know keep pushing all these different, let's say, investors through the funnel to the level that you can close deals with them. Because I do believe that this is the only way that you can raise the fund that you need, especially when it comes to raising investment toward equity as investment, or even grants as well. So without really like doing that exercise and just getting as many as possible through the funnel, you're gonna be we're all unlucky. That's what I see it. I consider myself the unluckiest person in the world. That's really like
Wow.
the way how it works. And just you need to just eliminate the luck let's
Factor
say
in.
factor, and just focus at like the hard work. Just my last advice to the entrepreneurs who are like watching this, I think one important aspect is to put the ego aside. Entrepreneurs very often they just
No
think
emotions, no ego, true, yeah.
exactly. This is very important, because if the investor does not pick up or does not respond or stop response, they forgot who you are, and they forgot
So true.
what company you talk to, and because no one cares, like they have hundreds come every day. So really like it's very important to leave very strong impression, and very important not to take anything personal. It's just fully like business, and fully like without ego free, like you know, let's say process. If you have that in mind as entrepreneur, things will be much easier. And just know is obviously like a something you should get used to basically hear, and you should challenge it. I mean, Faisal, who was on the call before, he said no at the beginning. Then I just like, I pushed things forward with him and just I say, why no? Then when I just sat with him and understood the reason, I basically like challenged it in it. And then he was basically interested after that. So it's very important to just really take that into consideration when going to raise fund.
I love this. It's actually a lot of legwork. It's a lot of persistence, and just no emotions. Go through your list, build the list, go through it, put it in a CRM, follow up systematically with people without just don't take it personal. I love these insights. Thank you so much, Said. Any closing words, Abdurrahman? Said, we're coming close to the end of our session. And by the way, Salman didn't manage to join the session today, but he promised to be part of our next session in about a month. He is sitting still on the jury panel of the World Cup in Biban, and I thought maybe it's better to leave him with the entrepreneurs, to let him focus on the entrepreneurs. Closing words from you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Amal, again. Are we going to answer questions? Because there is an interesting question that I would love to answer.
Sorry, I haven't seen the Q&As.
Yeah, actually, only one, but
yeah. So what about female founder raising in the KSA? It seems like it's still highly dominated ecosystem, especially that we are talking about Majlis and Diwania, and if it's accessible to women in the first place. Good question.
yeah,
Thank you.
just
Very often, many ladies come to Diwania, and to be honest, I see ladies are all over the kind of events. I don't see they are being excluded from any of the events.
so based on my opinion and based on my experience, born and raised in Saudi Arabia, it's totally opposite. Today, women actually are sometimes more empowered than males, and the opportunities available for women are actually much bigger. And what Saad maybe wanted to mention when he mentioned the Diwania, it's more about the culture that is based on building these kind of relationships of trust. So it doesn't have to be like you have to come and sit inside the Diwania. It's not that. It's not that. It's more about how you are going to be building that long-term relationship with your investor, so that they can invest not only once but maybe a couple of times. My tips would be, if you are fundraising, or if you are building your startup, just make sure that you are targeting a market that is growing, a market that is not really niche, because for niche market, you'll be looking for niche investors. Make sure that you utilize grants or non-dilutive funding for building that attraction, and making sure that you have a validated business model, that you are having those paying customers. And finally, if you are looking to fundraise from investors and close it the soonest, make sure that you play the market and marketing and PR game by showing how trendy your solution is, because this is one of the key things that would drive investors to invest with you, because they will believe that more investors will come afterwards, and they want to catch or to become the first investors in that new solution that is becoming trendy. So those are some tips that I get to hear a lot, and I've seen working for many startups, us, for example. And yeah, good luck in your experience expanding to Saudi Arabia or starting something from Saudi Arabia.
Amazing. Thank you, Abdurrahman. One more question is coming from the audience. How to use traction in a smaller market with low purchasing power when expanding to Saudi with a bigger number of clients, different customer behavior, etc. So this was a question I have asked Dar Al-Adi as well, because I think testing in your own market, if it's a small country, small market, doesn't necessarily tell a lot about your expansion plans. It's a kind of chicken and egg thing. And then the question is it possible for someone who is based in another country to start right away with the Saudi market if it's the target market in the first place? So big strategic decision actually.
I think like on that note, I do believe if Saudi market is really the market for you, and you want to focus on, and you want to go and basically get clients from that market, you can go and just get some POCs. You can go and get some pilots with some companies, so you can prove that there is attraction, like that there is like a potential for your company over there. But my honest and my practical advice, if Saudi market is your market, then you're wasting your time spending any second outside that market. So move yourself and just go right there. There are plenty of opportunities that can help you settle as easy as smoothly as possible. So just like go there. Like otherwise, it's just quite not possible that you're gonna prove yourself somewhere and then try to, because the markets are different. We have changed our products like 4 times in the Saudi market, and it was
Wow.
another product like outside.
Wow. I so agree, so much agree. Yeah, Abdurrahman, want to say something?
Yeah. I'm seconding Saad. We changed our business model 3 times in the Saudi market. So it's a different human behavior. It's a different decision. It's different supply chain or value chain sometimes, and it's a totally different regulations. So if you have validated your business model in, let's say, whatever country, that might help you or push you or convince you and your team and empower you to try to do that again in the Saudi market. But for investors and for yourself, make sure that you have to do that validation again inside Saudi Arabia if you are planning to convince any investor from Saudi Arabia, because for them, validation elsewhere is not really an enough validation.
Amazing.